This video about a new ketogenic diet for longevity that is inspired by breast milk composition. So please mind that you can download this presentation as a PDF file, the link in the description, and also I propose to download and to read the PDF file with extended sources of references, and I gave more than 30 references to scientific publications and to some videos to go deeper into this subject, because I believe it is important and quite a new idea how to modify a ketogenic diet or carnivore diet so that it will be much better for longevity. So let's go. First, I will give some abstract of this presentation and to these first slides, and I will read them out. A novel dietary approach aimed at enhancing health and extending lifespan is proposed, drawing inspiration from the composition of breast milk. In this innovative regimen, fats constitute the predominant component of daily caloric intake, and notably a significant amount of lactose sourced from dairy products or supplements is integrated into the diet. Unlike conventional recommendation advocating the consumption of unsaturated oil, this diet prioritizes saturated fats as a primary source of dietary fat. Sources of saturated fats include fatty cream, butter, MCT oil, coconut oil, high-quality eggs from birds, and to a lesser extent, lard. To optimize nutrient utilization, interval or so-called intermittent fasting principles are incorporated into the dietary plan. Protein-rich foods such as animal meat, seafood, poultry, high-quality bird eggs, and open water fish are strategically reserved for consumption during the late afternoon or just before bedtime. Meanwhile, the morning breakfast is intentionally designed to be low in protein. For instance, it may consist of a serving of butter or a cup of fatty cream complemented by black coffee and sweetened with lactose. To promote gastrointestinal health, a regimen of mild laxatives such as ascorbic acid in substantial doses is recommended, accompanied by ample water intake in the early morning to facilitate gastrointestinal cleansing. The diet also suggests taking supplements and electrolytes to enhance body recovery and muscle growth during sleep, ensuring a holistic approach to well-being and longevity. So this is in some abstract, and we will go in details. First, I want to present the official recommendations, official guidelines that is about so-called balanced diet. Okay, so it is not my proposal, it is official recommendations. Please mind difference. Medical and dietary guidelines recommend a balanced diet for overall health and well-being, with carbohydrates accounting for about 45 to 65% of total daily caloric intake, proteins at 10 to 35%, and fats at 20 to 35%. High-quality carbohydrates, particularly those rich in fiber, are preferred over simple sugars and refined grains. Protein sources should include lean meats, poultry, fish, eggs, dairy products, legumes, nuts, and seeds. Health guidelines advise limiting saturated and trans fats as much as possible due to their associations with health risks, including heart disease. Monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats are recommended as a primary source of dietary fat. These recommendations are complete opposite to my view opinion, but I give it for comparison, and so please mind that, again, I'm not a medical professional. You are not supposed to follow my opinion, but okay, this is just, I give you the official recommendations. So here we see the food pyramid, and it is based on carbohydrate intake. And then only small amount of fat and sugars are allowed. The ketogenic diet is a specialized dietary approach that significantly alters macronutrient proportions, primarily in favor of fats, while drastically reducing carbohydrate intakes. There are various forms of ketogenic diets, each with distinct macronutrient proportions. The basis of any ketogenic diet is its ability to induce a state of nutritional ketosis wherein the body primarily relies on fats for energy. This metabolic shift occurs in the absence of dietary carbohydrates, prompting the liver to generate ketone bodies from both dietary fats and stored deposit tissue. These ketone bodies have been shown to enhance mitochondrial function and mitigate oxidative stress, fostering the neuroprotective and anti-inflammatory effects that can be advantageous for mental health. So here we see ketogenic food pyramid, and again, it is not my opinion because I suggested to use saturated fats, and here we have this coconut oil. It is okay, saturated fat, but olive oil and avocado I don't recommend. But okay, let's go further. A carnivore diet is highly specialized and restrictive form of ketogenic diet that focuses exclusively on animal-based foods while excluding carbohydrates and plant-based foods or items at all, or as much as possible. Spices are okay. This dietary approach emphasizes high fat and moderate to high protein consumption while eliminating all sources of dietary carbohydrates and fiber, including grains, fruits, vegetables, legumes, and even some dairy products. It is important to note that full adaptation to ketogenic diets, and especially to the carnivore diet, takes no shorter than 16 weeks. So it is 4 months minimum. It took me more than 6 months to get adapted to ketogenic diet, not to carnivore, but to ketogenic diet first. The long adaptation time is in part related to the necessary increase in the number of mitochondria in cells. Water is the primary drink recommended on the carnivore diet, with some individuals also incorporating black coffee or unsweetened tea. This is carnivore food pyramid, and we see the animal fat is the base and the main source of energy. So the internal organs are source of vitamins and highly recommended. I also support it very much to eat from time to time some organs. And of course, fish as a source of omega-3 and zinc. Some seafood products are good as a source of zinc and other minerals, and also minerals are important. Okay, I want to put your attention also to so-called lipivore carnivore diet, when amount of animal fat is increased, is higher than in this pyramid, and it is up to 95% of energy to get from fat, from animal fat. Okay, this is again have to be considered. It was proposed by Amber or Hearn, and this is okay. It might work, but again, I prefer to use some balance between proteins, animal-based proteins, and animal-based fat. Yeah, so it's again my proposal is something between, but also a little bit more, because I'm looking and I think breast milk composition is give us the idea how to extend our lifespan and improve health. Okay, let's go. Infants relying on breastfeeding naturally produce ketone bodies in their livers due to their high energy requirements for brain development and the low carbohydrate content of breast milk. After 6 months of age, the inclusion of solid plant-based foods is recommended officially as a part of the transition from exclusive breastfeeding or formula feeding to a balanced diet that encompasses fruits, vegetables, grains, and legumes. Breast milk contains up to 8% of lactose, providing to 35 grams of lactose to infants with approximately 3 kg of body weight. So 10 grams of lactose or more infants consume from breast milk. 10 grams per kilo of weight. Yeah, it's a lot. However, newborns produce limited amount of lactase. Lactase is an enzyme necessary for lactose breakdown into glucose and galactose in the initial days following birth. So first days after delivery, they cannot digest lactose. Lactose go through the digestive tract to the colon. Okay, this is important, and we have to take care about this. Okay. In the colon, beneficial gut bacteria, specifically bifidobacteria and lactobacteria, ferment lactose, producing gases, lactic acid, and short-chain fatty acid. And these short-chain fatty acids are absorbed into bloodstream, contributing, it's actually a lot contribution for newborn. They contribute to the newborn energy supply. It is first days, it is the main source of energy. And it is a main source of energy, especially for brain. So we have to take care about short-chain fatty acids a lot. Okay, let's go. After 6 months of age, the inclusion of solid plant-based foods is recommended as a part of transition from exclusive breastfeeding or formula feeding to a balanced diet that encompasses, this. But this is, again, I was discussed before in my videos that this is recommendations are just shifting you to be as a worker, short-living worker. So compare diet of queen bee or working bee. It is different. Diet is very different, and longevity is very different. Different. Short-living working bees rely in development of larvae and also further on plant-based food. It is nectar and pollen, and while the queen bee is rely on animal food, which is milk produced by other females. So queen bee is a female, and working bees are also females, and other females produce some kind of milk, royal jelly, and the queen bee consume only this breast, okay, not breast milk, but some kind of milk, royal jelly. So you have to understand that what is happening. The official recommendations are shifting a baby, and every infant, shifting slowly to be a working bee, short-living working bee. You are not supposed to be a real royal being, living 20 times longer than common people. You are supposed to be a worker, short-living worker. So consider this transition to plant-based food makes you short-living creature. Okay, so you have to understand it. The food is very important for longevity. Okay, let's go. Official medical consensus underscores the importance of solid plant-based foods as they serve as essential sources of nutrients, vitamins, electrolytes, fibers, and calories, which support the energy needs of humans. Yeah, I would agree that, for example, potassium we are getting mostly from vegetables, but we can supply potassium as potassium chloride and other salts. It is not necessary. Nowadays, all these magnesium supplements and potassium supplements are easy available, and I use the supplements instead of eating plant-based foods, and I feel much better, much better that, again, I try to turn myself into the real royal being, so long-living royal being, instead of to be short-living worker. Okay, but if you decide to be a short-living worker, okay, it's up to you. You follow the recommendations of official medical experts. Okay, how this also, I also, if you consume plant-based foods, they have a lot of fiber, and fiber is fermented in the gut, in the colon, with production of short-chain fatty acids, which are important. Again, I said it is very important. So this is butyric acid, acetate, acetic acid, and also propionate acid. Okay, but again, it is short-chain fatty acids. They are very important. They can be used as source of energy for epithelium layers, and this epithelium layers, they produce mucus. Mucus protects our guts from scratching and from damage. Again, this is a very important part of the diet, but how to produce it is a good question. Previously, I was recommending to use so-called potato starch, and then this is okay, maybe okay, but there is a better way. There is a better way to produce this short chain fatty acids, I believe. So I'm shifting. Mushrooms I also was recommended, but again I'm shifting from mushrooms and this potato starch to use of lactose. Now let's go and we'll consider it further. Okay, again, excessive lactose intake for some individuals may have health implications, including bloating, diarrhea, and abdominal discomfort. It is so. Again, if you will not change to ketogenic diet, if you are on standard diet and you consume excessive lactose from dairy products, you will get health complications for sure. Okay. But bloating is actually, it is production of the short chain fatty acids. Gases are natural subproduct of the fermentation of the lactose. So okay, but whatever. Let's go. Research suggests that the digestion of lactose may lead to accelerated aging due to oxidative stress caused by galactose metabolism and accumulation of advanced segregation end products in our cells. This is true. This is true. So if you have enough enzyme, or if you consume some special kind of dairy with already with this enzyme added, then you have glucose, and here have galactose get into your bloodstream, and galactose metabolism is not so good. It can lead to accelerated aging. So be careful. Again, be careful. It's again, you have to consider that a large amount of galactose is kind of dangerous, because metabolism of galactose is very much different from glucose, and we try to move from glucose. We try to stay on ketosis, to use this ketone bodies as a source of energy. Okay, then of course galactose reacts with proteins much easier than glucose, and then accumulation of advanced glycation end products and our cells also create kind of oxidative stress. However, there are reports that increase in dairy intake attenuates oxidative inflammatory stress in overweight and obese adults. Okay, there are some ideas that it can lead to accelerated aging, but this is not confirmed. This is just the experiments with animals and the laboratory animals and cells. But in real life, if dairy products improve and they reduce oxidative stress and the inflammation in overweight and obese adults, you see, it's not so bad because we are so special. Again, we cannot transfer results of experiments on laboratory animals like rodents to humans. Humans are much different. We are so special. We are much different because we adapted evolutionarily. We adapted to use fat as the main source of energy normally, especially during the time of winter time when food is not available. We use stored fat in adipose tissue as a source of energy. We are in state of ketosis. Or used to be in state of ketosis. Now it is different, but again, evolution changed us, and we didn't have time to adapt to grains or whatever, like birds, and we are special. Just take it as normal. Okay, dairy-based smoothies, but not soy-based smoothies, significantly reduced circulating biomarkers of oxidative stress and inflammation. Again, that if in real life these dairy products are good for you, good for your health. And also high concentration of leucine in milk may play a role significant role in the benefits of dairy products, because it is suppressing energy storage in adipose tissue from glucose, and while stimulating fat oxidation and in support of protein synthesis in skeletal muscles. Okay, that you see dairy products, they ignite growing of muscles of sure baby, human baby, or it is cow or other animal baby. It is growing protein. It is growing muscles, and again, so it is good for, especially for adults and elderly, and the elderly not to develop sarcopenia. And then dairy products can be much beneficial for adults, for the elderly. For people with lactose intolerance, lactose-free milk is proposed as alternative. I would not recommend it because what is there, it is actual milk with this enzyme added, and it has instead of lactose, it has glucose and galactose. And galactose is not good for you. As I said, it's all experiments are true. Galactose consumption may increase inflammation, may accelerate aging, so little it is not good. I would not recommend such dairy product which is lactose free. Okay, but dairy products and lactose can be beneficial for adults in the state of ketosis. So if you are in state of ketosis and even with lactose intolerance, it's actually better. It will help because it will help to promote gut health, maintain a slightly acidic environment in the colon because of fermentation of the lactose, and it will contribute to the digestion and absorption of nutrients because the acidic environment is good for your guts. Most Europeans produce the enzyme lactase until very old age, and me included, and do not experience symptoms of lactose intolerance. But again, this is kind of I don't think it is big benefit because again, if we consume galactose, it is maybe in older age it is not very nice, not very good. But we have to go further how to reduce this splitting of the lactose to glucose and galactose, and we have to suppress it a little bit. So to suppress the digestion of lactose, so the working of this enzyme in our small intestine, it is necessary to acidify the environment in the small intestine. So this lactase enzyme work only in slightly alkaline or neutral environment. Okay, pH should be about 7, maybe even a little bit more. But to suppress the work of this enzyme, what you have to do, increase acidity in the small intestine. It is possible, okay, you have to be careful about this, but it is possible. Because if you will do it, then this absorption of nutrients will change, so you have to understand that you cannot do it for all time, but temporary, when you consume lactose, you can stop for a while the work of this lactase, or suppress this production of lactase in the small intestine. So to suppress this okay, it is a small intestine. Okay, also consuming dairy products and beverages rich in lactose can be recommended only in the morning to avoid abdominal discomfort during sleep. Yes, so if you will suppress somehow or if it is people already with lactose intolerance, a lot of gas will be produced, and also short chain fatty acids will be produced in your colon. And it is, if you sleep, if it is during sleep, it will be abdominal discomfort and will disturb your sleep. Don't do it, okay? Don't do it at evening, but at morning it is okay. It's okay because you are moving and gas is not so bad. Again, let me go further. Gas is not so bad. It's just you have to find the amount of lactose which is okay for you. Okay, lactose. Lactose is a synthetic sugar that is often used as laxative and for its prebiotic properties. Why? Because humans don't produce any enzymes to digest lactose. Therefore, it gets into colon, not digested, where it is converted by beneficial bacteria into short-chain fatty acids and gases, of course, and lactic acid, but all beneficial. And lactose can be chemically converted to lactose. Yes, you have some ideas about how to work with chemistry, you can do it. Lactose are also available as a supplement, but it's probably much easier to make yourself. Okay, I will make some short video about how to convert lactose into lactose. It's not big deal actually. Okay, then this is a process known as isomerization. The isomerization of lactose into lactulose typically involves the use of basic catalysts such as sodium or potassium hydroxide and heating a water solution of lactose with this catalyst to temperatures about 60-70 degrees Celsius. The optimal alkalinity for the reaction is about 10 to 11. It's relatively high, but you use this potassium hydroxide, it will be almost automatically. Then the catalyst, this added amount of catalyst has to be neutralized by adding ascorbic acid, for example, but other acid you can use like citric acid, but ascorbic acid probably better. And you have to neutralize it to the pH 6 to 7, and the resulting mixture will contain lactose, unreacted lactose, and ascorbates, all good for your health. Okay, all good. For its use as a sweetener, there is no need to purify it. Pardon. So if you use this solution and the lactose is more sweet than lactose, so it is not digested, but you feel it more sweet because it has fructose. It is, you see, lactose has fructose and galactose, and lactose has galactose and glucose. So glucose can be converted to fructose in this isomerization reaction. Okay, here's a slide how lactose work in your guts, in your colon. It is again very good. So the same bacteria that work with lactose, they can work with lactose, and they will produce short chain fatty acids, which are good. They contribute to the health of your guts and to the health of your brain. Pardon. Especially it is important for this mucin bacteria. Mucin is produced to protect your guts from scratching and from damage. It is very important for digestion, so it's again a very good and very important part. What is recommended by official medical professionals, that you have to use at least some amount of soluble fibers. Soluble fibers are such carbohydrates that are not digested, but they produce some gel-like substance. But it is lactose. Lactose is can work the same, even better. And if you will compare how much gas is produced by lactose and lactose, if it is getting to colon, it is big difference. Lactose is so much more efficient in production of this short chain fatty acids. This is why I recommend this instead of some resistant starch like potato starch. And again, potato starch does something, but yeah, you just see the difference actually. Can be a little bit discomfort because too much gases and blowing even during the day is a little bit not nice. But again, you have to decide how much lactose and lactose you have to consume to produce enough of these short chain fatty acids. Maybe not as much as a newborn baby, but but again, you just think gases are not so bad because part of these gases are hydrogen. Hydrogen can get into the bloodstream very easy, and it works as antioxidant, very efficient antioxidant. So this reactive oxygen species, free radicals concentration go down. This is much better antioxidant than anything else. And then also probiotic bacteria multiply, and harmful bacteria go down because they have no food they have no this protein which they convert to some toxic substances. So all your health will be much improved just with lactose and lactose. But lactose, if you are European origin, you have to suppress the release and the working of this enzyme by acidification of the ascorbic acid will work in this sense much better. I don't know, is it because acidification, or it is ascorbic acid itself or ascorbates they suppress release of this lactase. I cannot find any information on it, but how the ascorbic acid works. But but result is such: if you consume ascorbic acid before taking lactose, then a lot of gas will be produced during the day. Accumulation of senescent cells with age is an important contributing case of aging. That's right. It is not the main cause of aging. It is consequence actually of the chronic hypoxia, and chronic hypoxia is because of the glycation reaction, so reaction of sugars with proteins, and the cross-linking of proteins, especially collagen and elastin, in our blood vessels. And because of this limited supply of blood to organs and to your tissues, you are getting eventually to the state of chronic hypoxia. This development of chronic hypoxia is the main cause of aging. But again, this chronic hypoxia, it is driven that some cells get senescent. It is quite normal. It is in our genetics. Senescent and cancer cells generate energy mostly by aerobic glycolysis without oxygen. This because they are in state of hypoxia, but also they do it just because they are they work very intense to produce some. I mean, cancer cells, they multiply, and senescent cells, they produce a lot of pro-inflammatory substances and proteins and RNA and that other stuff. So you have to suppress somehow the release of these pro-inflammatory molecules. And how to do it? This can be okay. What is happening again? Glycolysis, aerobic glycolysis. It is when glucose is converted to lactate without oxygen, and it is leading to acidification of the inner cell environment and dysfunction of mitochondria. Mitochondria producing these free radicals. It leads to oxidative stress. It is interesting. So, like, not enough oxygen is leading to more reactive oxygen species. So it's a little bit not easy to understand. But again, if you consider that mitochondria produce reactive oxygen species, free radicals, then it is, if mitochondria work not so well, and in the conditions of this acidity inside of the cell, then you understand that this is a consequence. So this phenomenon is known as the Warburg effect. And these free radicals can damage cell membranes and lead to apoptosis. Yeah, I have much more detailed explanation about this in this other document, which is available as PDF file, so you can download and read with scientific references. It's a lot of text. I would not try to make a so long video, but just mind that you can learn science from a little bit more longer text. And I did a lot of research, and it took me quite a lot to understand, because these proposals of new ketogenic diet is quite new. So it is not easy to find anything. It is not combination of some ideas from internet. It is just my vision. What can we do to for our longevity? And the idea is that we have to change our diet. We should be not short-living workers, but we should have to be long-living royals, true royals. Okay, that's and what to do? To rely on animal-based products like royal jelly. It is animal-based products, royal jelly, and we can in principle live 20 times longer than workers, short-living workers, commoners. Ascorbic acid, again, why I use ascorbic acid? It slows down accumulation of senescent cells. It inhibits the process of energy production by aerobic glycolysis and reducing chronic inflammation of tissues. It is very well known fact. Linus Pauling proposed the use of mega doses of ascorbic acid every day. He was using about 13 gram of, some days I use 20 gram of ascorbic acid. But again, if it works for me, be careful, because official recommendations are only half gram of ascorbic acid. Okay, this again, you have to decide, will you follow official recommendations to be a short-living worker, or maybe what I try to do it is to be long-living royal. Okay, I'm try to get to this other stage with no change of genetics. You know that queen bee and working bees have absolutely the same genetics, but food is important. Okay, this is some slide explaining how normal cells in the situation of chronic hypoxia, they turn to senescence. and they produce energy by without oxygen, mostly with a very limited supply of oxygen. Then if you have a lot of senescent cells, then tissue gets dysfunctional. It is, for example, in its kidney is maybe the most dangerous, but also prostate gland can be inflamed and dysfunctional. Okay, that's all related. And then eventually, when a number of senescent cells is too much, you just aging and you pass away. Okay, next point. Again, it is optional, but I believe it is important also because you are elderly people already in the stage that they have a lot of senescent cells. Fisetin is flavonoid found in certain plants, has shown potential as anti-aging and senolytic drug. It works in synergy with quercetin, berberine, and ascorbic acid, inhibiting energy production in senescent cells by blocking aerobic glycolysis in cell cytoplasm. It is also blocking glycogen to be converted to glucose in our muscle and liver. So it is a very, very useful substance. Again, it can be used, but you have to understand that there are protocols with large doses and small doses. Large doses cannot be used every day, and small doses, like half gram, yeah, it is. But again, be careful with visiting. As any senolytics, it has some complications and side effects. Okay, fisetin can be used as a part of the anti-aging remedy for intermittent elimination of senescent cells according to the Mayo Clinic protocol. So at least this was proven by clinic trials, and fisetin can be used once a month like this, or you decide, you go, I was talking about this in previous videos. So fisetin absorption, again, fisetin is, bioavailability of fisetin is limited, and it can be improved by certain oils like coconut oil and butter. So combine it, butter and coconut oil are rich in saturated fatty acids. This is also my point, that we need mostly saturated fatty acids. Why? Because saturated fatty acids are less prone to oxidation, information or advanced lipoxidation end products. They are this ALE, advanced lipoxidation end products. They are more dangerous than advanced glycation end products. Okay, oxidation coming after glycation. So glycation leads to hypoxia. Hypoxia leads to excessive production of free radicals. Free radicals, they make this advanced lipoxidation end products, which are very dangerous. And so if you will reduce formation of this lipoxidation end products, it may help maintain the structural integrity of cell membranes and protect against oxidative damage. They can contribute to aging. Yeah, this is how fisetin works. It is suppressant, it is reducing this oxidative stress. Oxidative stress, if oxidative stress is coming up, it is normally coming up because this state of chronic hypoxia develops with time. Then it is blocking oxidative stress, and then you blocking lipid peroxidation, protein damage, DNA damage. So you are improving your health. You're improving functionality of your mitochondria, okay? And it is especially important for neurodegenerative diseases. If you want to be healthy, fisetin a big part of your supplements. I was talking about this already. Okay, next, again, it seems to be very natural to use fisetin as a part of anti-aging remedy, but again, protocol can be different, can be small doses every day, or at least what you can use, intermittent elimination of senescent cells according to the Mayo Clinic protocol. And again, absorption of fisetin can be further improved not only with oil, coconut oil and butter, but also intake of long Indian peppers, which are rich in peperongumin. Peperongumin works in synergy with fisetin, and it eliminates senescent cells. And it is, again, if you use this Mayo Clinic protocol, it is can be combined with fisetin. Okay, as everyday procedure, I find it convenient to prepare high-fat drink, high-fat drink from whole milk powder, because again, unfortunately in Thailand, milk is not good quality milk is not available. What they sell, they sell this lactose-free milk, or that's low-fat milk and other stuff which I would never drink. And even if I buy milk from local farmers, it is full with antibiotics. So I prefer to use something more healthy and more convenient. So I buy milk powder from New Zealand, and it is affordable and very easy to use. And so what I do, I mix milk powder with coconut oil, or maybe butter even better, up to 70 gram, and I add lactose, a lot of lactose, 30-40 gram, it is a lot actually. And instant coffee, I add some powder at morning, it is okay. And I brew it with boiling water in the morning, and then I drink again. But before this, I use ascorbic acid. Before this drinking, I take ascorbic acid to suppress release of this lactase, or of this enzyme, so that lactose will go not digested to my colon. This is important. Otherwise, it will just not be, maybe not so nice. And the lactose is again, is amount of lactose you add is about up to 2 liters of milk, so it is big doses, relatively big doses, not as for infants, but yeah, yet it is considerably large amount of lactose. So after late dinner, I can drink similar beverages. Like to finish my dinner, I eat protein-rich food like meat and poultry, and then after I already satiated, I add a little bit more energy. I need more fat. It can be the same high-fat drink, or maybe instead of to make my night better, I maybe use coconut oil, or coconut oil as powder mixed with coconut oil, coconut milk powder with coconut oil, and mix it and use it as additional fat to make me more to sleep better. But what this is what I see in my, if I drink milk, hot milk with milk powder, from milk powder, I sleep better. But anyway, I sleep 8 hours every day and feel myself so much better with this diet, intermittent fasting, when protein are taken only at before bedtime, when 1 hour or 2 hours before the bedtime. So after late dinner, I can, as I said, I can drink the same beverage, but no instant coffee, of course, and no ascorbic acid. But then, if I use this lactose, then unfortunately, galactose is increasing. So maybe lactose is not necessary. You decide, or maybe you can make chemically to convert lactose to lactulose, and okay, this is yet have to be considered. Maybe lactose is not necessary. Maybe you have to change to coconut milk powder and with coconut oil. Again, you have to decide for yourself. I also yet trying this and that and try to compare my well-beings. Okay, so this and that work good, but from milk I sleep maybe better. From milk, hot milk, yeah, I sleep better. Okay, as you see, I was in my previous videos, I was recommending resistant starches like potato starch and mushrooms. Mushrooms are perfect to my opinion, but mushrooms, you have to buy them, you have to cook them, and it works, but also it works because you produce a lot of gases, and you can see that gases are like byproduct from fermentation of this chitin in mushrooms, and then you have the short chain fatty acids. So mushrooms work. I don't know, maybe both. During the high protein dinner, you can maybe add some mushrooms. But again, it looks like for me it is saving time if I use lactose instead. Lactose and at morning, okay, lactose at morning, or lactose maybe for again at morning, because if you use lactose with ascorbic acid or lactose with just itself, yeah, you will get some kind of diarrhea. Maybe it's again a lot of gases will be produced. So be careful. At night it is, or evening it's not recommended. So you have to reduce amount of lactose and the lactose at evening. So again, maybe coconut milk better. Okay, then again, I am shifting. I am yet in not fixed my diet. I try to find the best, but the idea is at least at morning you can use, instead of resistant starch and mushrooms, you can use lactose with ascorbic acid, or maybe you convert lactose to lactose, and then you have your stomach cleaned after from all the feces, and then you have a lot of production of gases and short chain fatty acids in the colon. You will see it because gases are getting out, but they're not smelling. Again, hydrogen, you produce not only carbon dioxide, you produce a lot of hydrogen. Hydrogen is getting to all your body and works as antioxidant. Moreover, you can, if you are breathing, there are some tests to find out are you producing hydrogen or not. Then again, hydrogen is very good as antioxidant. This is good. This is why production of gases with lactose or lactose is beneficial for you. Actually beneficial. But if you are of European origin, then you have to suppress the release of lactate or lactose. Pardon, this enzyme which digesting lactose. So okay, it is maybe a little bit tricky. Maybe it can be improved better. Okay, but again, I'm not a medical professional. I'm doctor of science. I rely on science. In my this long text, you will find a lot of references to scientific publications. I try to find science. I don't rely on opinion officials, and I consider the recommendations from official professionals, medical professionals. They are intentionally make from you a short living worker. So you are not supposed to live long. You are not supposed to be true royal. Imagine what will happen with our society if we all will live 900 years. It will be disaster. Okay, it's disaster because again, it is only for few people, for smart people who follow my channel and who are who are working with me on this project. Maybe also for my relatives and close friends, but I'm not supposed to interfere with medical industry or this pharmaceutical industry. Okay, I don't care. Why should I care? It is huge money involved in this. I do it for myself. I care only about my own longevity, my own health, and everybody should do it themselves. But again, if you trust too much medical professionals, okay, it is absolutely okay if you are working bee. If you are supposed to live short, if you have to work like 60 years, 65 years, till the age of 65, 67 years, and then you will maybe 5-10 years longer before you will pass away, it is okay, it's absolutely okay. Bees, in beehive, there are many workers, only one queen bee, okay? So ratio is 1 to 1,000, maybe 1 to 10,000, 100,000. Okay, this is much different. So to be true royal, you have to be chosen. You have to be smart enough to have critical mind. And I believe that I'm working on this my project, and I believe there will be success. I see improvement in my health. It is not only related to the ketogenic diet and supplements. I use also some the supplements like enzymes, advanced enzymes, to turn back, to return to a little bit a younger age, and I believe it works, but it takes time. So if it took long for me, I'm 66 years old, it took long for me to get aging, to get to my this state as a little bit elderly. But now I feel so, I don't see big difference between myself like 20 years ago and now. There is this difference mostly in skin and in the hair, but inside I'm quite well. I have huge endurance. I swim in almost every day for 2 hours in fins, feel good, and I believe that I have some good future. And I never, last 20 years or maybe 25 years, I didn't follow any advice from medical professionals. Now I can tell it that it is like, because I don't want to be a worker, short-living worker. I want to be true royal, not like English queen, British queen, but because she lived not 1,000 years, but I want to be like our biblical patriarchs and to live 900 years, 10 times longer than common workers. This is my goal. Will I manage or not? Let's see. You have to follow my channel for next 200, 300 years, and you will certainly see will I succeed in this my project or not. So again, please, I hope you will support my project. I don't have any financial support because I work only for myself and few other people who work with me. So at least what you can do, you can press button like and the bell buttons and subscribe to my channel and share this information. Again, you will at least improve your health. Okay, yeah, this knowledge is getting spreading. You will find in internet a lot of videos on related to ketogenic diet, carnivore diet, etc., etc. But again, what my goals is go further, much further. My ambitions are not just to improve my health, but to extend longevity radically, like 10, 20 times longer. But again, this makes a little bit more complicated than my goal, and I have to use these advanced enzymes, and so it is. But anyway, even if you don't have these advanced enzymes, I produce them, but not in large amounts. And without financial support, I cannot produce more, and also I cannot supply these enzymes because, for example, European Union. Some friends in the European Union, I tried to send them my advanced enzymes, which are reversing agent, but it doesn't work. The customs return my parcels, so it is again. But with your support, it probably in time I will develop production of these enzymes in large amounts, and now it is limited. It is limited amount, and I use it only for myself and friends. Okay, guys, have a wonderful day. Please support my channel, as I said. Spread the word about this important topic. Ciao, ciao.